Hi, Sachin, Daphne here. I hope you're well. Thanks for sending in your next essays. These are, in fact, your final ones. You have 8 corrections, okay? We call them essay corrections. This is number 1 and number 2 each time. So these are your final ones, which is really sad. But I've emailed you the details so you understand the situation, okay? So this is a great letter. Well done. You've done really well. Hope this letter finds you well. I know this is a sort of informal letter, but you should still have I hope. Oh, hang on, down here. I hope. Especially because you're starting with Mr. If it was Hi Sam, then you might be okay with hope, but because you're saying Mr. Thomas, uh, going I hope. This letter finds you well. We've not been able to interact face to face, maybe due to our busy working schedules, so I decided to write you a letter. Moreover, I wanted to bring your attention to. You bring attention to something, not notice. Attention to the problems we're facing because of your pet. Really good. Nice intro. Maybe you got a face to face recently, which signals that you already know him because he's your neighbour. So I think that might be quite nice. Just a little word to add in there. My 2-year-old son is afraid of dogs and he cries whenever a dog barks. We're trying to introduce him to some puppies to reduce his phobia, but that will take some time. Meanwhile, your puppies bark. So the bark of your... All right, okay. Maybe because you've said bark already, maybe the noise your puppy makes is so frightening to him, especially during the night, that he wakes up and starts crying for a very long time. This disturbance at midnight. Now, at midnight is 12 o'clock, or in the middle of the night, you'd have to say. Sometimes bothers us, or so sometimes bothers us, not ing. Oh, okay, either sometimes bothers us or has bothered us for some time, maybe, and so I wouldn't repeat sometime. It costs, so it would be this or it costs us a whole night's sleep. Okay, you need that in there as well. Just check on your on that some of that grammar in there. Yeah. Therefore, I suggest that you suggest that something should be done about this issue, and if I could be any assistance, well done, that's really polite. Please don't hesitate to ask. You could have the contraction don't, because to show that you know this is more informal. Don't hesitate to ask. I know of a dog mask, wow, that prevents them from barking. So maybe you could try that at night at least. That's a really, really nice idea. Yours sincerely, because he's your neighbour, I would signal to the examiner, you know, like the difference. I put maybe kind regards or something like that. That would be fine. Really nice letter. Just watch out some of the little grammar points in there. Okay? Otherwise, very, very good. You're very confident on those task ones. Okay, task 2, the pollution essay, which is very interesting, isn't it? Oh, green energy, sorry, excuse me. Nowadays, most green energy is becoming ever more prevalent in developing countries. Yep, some argue they reduce costs, so we're going to talk about this, and others believe they're a threat. Okay, discuss both views. The globe needs a cost-effective and sustainable solution. So, A, solution, singular, or take out this and do solutions to ever after increasing demands, ever after. To address, maybe ever after. I'm not sure what you mean by ever after. To address means to look after increasing demands, costs, and consumption of electricity. Geothermal, solar panels and windmills. So, thermal energy, solar panels, plural, and windmills, plural, are some of the best options which I believe should be encouraged to use and develop, encouraged to use more prevalently or more frequently and develop further. This essay we'll discuss. Really nice. The globe you could put in today's uncertain climate. I think rather than the globe, okay, I think you need to have something else a little bit more in here. But that is a very, very good intro. Absolutely love it. The perils of conventional power now, either the perils of conventional power generation, yeah, I don't think you need process, or the process. Are known, so same problem as this, watch out for this, yeah, are known to the world as they consume. As this, not this, which would be the process, not they as in people. This consumes, and you'd have to have an S on there. So this consumes an enormous amount of fuel, gas, chemical, which has limited availability. Good. Yes, huge costs are associated with the consumption. Watch out for articles, yeah? The consumption of these resources. So and that's a third time, okay, watch out, because the examiner will be looking at this and thinking, come on, you want a band 7, you're writing really high level, you should sort this out. And there are eventually devastating effects, potentially, not eventually, good word, which means possible. Devastating effects on the environment, that should not be ignored. Very good, nice writing there, lovely. Whereas implementation and use of green energy sources such as hydro or windmill could. Yes, will, but because it's an academic essay, let's stick with this could, might, which I do repeat, and I really, really suggest this. Could or might reduce the cost as it does not need any additional fuel input. You don't need that, that can go, and does not harm the environment, comma, as there is no release of any other noxious, is a good word, noxious, which means poisonous element. We don't use it very often, but it is perfect in this kind of context. This transition from pollutant power production, good, to non-pollutant alternatives. Let's not repeat pollutant, maybe. Clean, maybe. Clean, renewable, sustainable are all good words, is possible and has been implemented by many countries. For example, Iceland is the country sourcing 99% of its electric demand from renewable only, or which, let's go into relative clause, which does not produce, okay? Which does not produce harmful gases in the process. Lovely, good writing, and I love the example, relevant, nice one. Although there may be positives environmentally, this has to be an adverb to go with friendly. Environmentally friendly methods of power generation. Now you don't need an S on that. It's like power generation is plural anyway. It's a general thing. There are still, so still has to move. There are still some opponents to it who do not believe that it can replace or sustain. Maybe you could, and sustain. Now replace or sustain. You don't need over, just existing demands. These people may be afraid, or these critics, rather than people, maybe afraid of its sustainability as it's not widely used and hence less tested. Moreover, unusual short-term change in weather conditions may hinder the supply, resulting in disruption. For instance, solar panels, plural, require. Okay, because I've changed it, I also need to correct that. Solar panels require the sun's apostrophe S rays to reach its surface. Just reach, don't need to reach on its surface. And unusually, so again, like environmentally, you've got an adverb coming before your adjective. Okay, so we have an adverb which qualifies the adjective. Okay, may disrupt its process. However, there are ways to store these energies in long-lasting batteries. Oh, really? Which could provide further uninterrupted supply. Thus, it's conclusively clear, with the aforementioned explanation, that switching to the latest, excuse me, environmentally, there you've got it, yeah, the latest and most environmentally friendly energy resources could save our the ecosystem. Yeah, really nice. The increasing adoption of it by many countries of the world is a proof of this possible life-changing solution, or these life-changing solutions, maybe. Okay, that is a fantastic essay. You are writing so well. I'm really, really impressed. That is really, really high quality, fantastic essay. The only thing I'm picking up is sorry. The only thing I'm picking up is little grammar points, but they're really important grammar points. So please sort those out. Listen to the corrections. If you're not sure on when to use articles, look at a website. Make sure you're super happy with when to use articles. Normally, you're finding it difficult with when we're talking about general plurals. So it doesn't have an S, but it is actually plural. So they are complicated, I agree with you. But get that right, because that will be picked up. Otherwise, super good. I'm really, really impressed. And I hope you should be happy with yourself. Yeah? You might just get an example into here. Because we haven't got an example in this one. You could have an example of where there was a heat wave or something like that, or where there was no wind or something. So I think that might need a little bit more there, although it is quite long. But really good tasks. Well done, Session. It's been a pleasure working with you. Really, really good luck.